Yeah, you can hold the mic too.
Hi, this is Ben Starr, and this is PAX East 2024.
What's your second game that you'll be playing tonight?
Oh goodness, second game.
Don't know what he said, but let's get to the interview.
Well, folks, it's time to go to the Penny Arcade Expo East, where we'll be covering games, we'll be talking to cosplayers, we'll forget to do intro shots, we'll have awkward exchanges with people when we don't know what to ask them questions. Welcome to Boston. Talk to you soon.
After hours dating. Oh, I've been on this side of the camera.
Alright guys, we're outside the Boston Convention Center, day one of PAX. We're going to check out Nintendo right now, then we're going to roam the floor, see what the event's all about. For anyone that doesn't have the chance to be here, we're going to give you a sense of what it's like to attend PAX East, day one. Crank the jam. A classic of the Boston experience is walking in sub-freezing temperature and walking into basically a sauna.
What's up, nerds? We're here at PAX East 2024. We're here for the media hour. Nothing's opened yet, but we got behind me the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet hand-painted mural. I just wanted to showcase it real quick. They're touching it up right now. I think it looks pretty cool. They're gonna have people come over here and write their Pokemon memories, their Pokemon adventures, what they love about the series and these mythical creatures. Maybe they like them a little too much, maybe they don't like them enough. Throughout the day there'll be people writing on the wall, and then at the end of the day we'll showcase how pretty their art is, or we'll criticize it for not being good enough. We'll see.
Why Eevee, man? Why Eevee? You know what the people want. You know what they want. Poland's back. We're gonna check up on how my Polish is progressing. This is the show floor before anybody's here, so this is about as empty as you're ever gonna see it. Thursday, day one. Soon the halls are gonna be flooded with people everywhere. We'll be seeing kilts, we'll be bumping into cosplayers, that sort of thing. After many years, these specimens finally make it to adulthood, where they can arrive at the Penny Arcade Expo. Here we see them in their natural state. Elated, thrilled, peak happiness at a gaming expo.
I'm Andrew Honig. We're with Red Moon Workshop. I'm one of the co-founders. Yeah, so this is Shot One Fighters. That's what we're calling this one. So
Okay.
yeah, Shot One Fighters. I handle most of the technical side, so I'm mostly in the engine, building the game out. I do all the animation, so any animation work you see in there, that's primarily done by me and a few other people that help me on that, with that aspect of it.
Okay, cool. Well, let's just do a very basic overview. What's this game about? What should people know about it?
We're a fighting game primarily. That's kind of the target we're going for. And we noticed that over the last few years, fighting games have gotten more technically advanced with the execution of all the different mechanics, and they're kind of, it's almost too difficult of a game to kind of get into if you want to be more of a casual player. So we're kind of looking at that and taking a back to basics approach to things. So we're kind of streamlining things, bringing it back to what we consider the golden era of arcade fighting games, which would be that like Street Fighter 4 era.
Okay.
And trying to recapture that magic and bring it back into the spotlight.
Okay, so this is a new game.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a new game, but it's an IP that we've been kind of building for the last few years. So.
Okay, so how would people know about about this already? What were their previous experiences with this IP?
So we were building another game that was inspired by a Windjammers type of game,
yeah.
like an action sports title. And yeah, over the years we were building that, but it seemed like the direction everything was moving in, it just wasn't working out. So we decided to then pivot and kind of go into a fighting game, which felt like the natural fit for this IP.
So you're saying, despite the resurgence of Windjammers, there actually wasn't much of a market for another Windjammers?
Unfortunately not, I guess you could say. I mean, game dev is a brutal thing. I mean, anybody who's in the industry will tell you that. The market changes, it shifts, it pivots. So we're just kind of going with the flow and doing what we love and just putting all of our passion onto the table.
Okay, and you mentioned at the beginning that you're in the animation side of things, and with fighting games, there's like counting frames and that stuff. How do you approach that stuff? What are your thoughts on that?
Very meticulously.
Okay.
Very, very meticulously. Like, we have spreadsheets built with all the minutia, all the data, startup, actives, recovery frames, and all that. And we go in. I pose every individual frame for each of these actions to make sure that everything is where it needs to be in the moment it needs to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, very technical. It's this really, for me, it's fantastic because I don't exist too much on the animation, on the creative side. I like the more technical aspect.
I see.
And fighting is kind of a really nice blend between those two. So, you know, I get to use the technical side and then craft the animation and the visual side after the fact. And I don't know, it really kind of builds just really snappy, punchy animations that feel just really tight. So.
And you were saying the goal of this game is to actually make it more accessible than the most extreme versions of frame counting and that stuff.
Yeah.
So what? Just one example. How do you accomplish that?
Let me iterate that, because that doesn't mean we're necessarily going to shy away from the more technical aspects, right? So if anyone's familiar with, say, Street Fighter Third Strike, they have a mechanic, a parry mechanic, which was considered. I mean, if anybody knows Justin,
this is the Daigo.
That whole parry thing. That's what we are currently trying to build in ours. So we still have that really high skill ceiling, but we're just raising the floor so it's a little bit easier for players to kind of get in there with a really nice mastery curve, so players can still get that depth that they want out of a fighting game. So it's the more technical execution style is simplified, but the tool set is still there to do some really over-the-top stuff.
Okay, so if you want to win cred with people that like the genre, do you have a personal favorite when it comes to fighting games, just on the technical aspect of it?
Unfortunately, not me. I'm not. Like I said, I'm not the person that.
That is the diplomatic answer, though. So you passed the test.
I'm gonna pass it to my founder, the other co-founder. He'll be able to kind of give you the rundown on that kind of stuff.
Okay.
My name is Sirio. I'm one of the founders and like one of the art guys on the Sha 1 team.
From other fighting games out in the genre, what's one that you kind of look to? It's like they got it right when it comes to the animation and just the accessibility of the game.
I don't know if it was the most accessible, but to me, like, one of the best fighting games of all time is Capcom vs. SNK 2.
Okay.
It was kind of like a crossover event between the juggernauts of the fighting game companies, Capcom and SNK, and I felt that game had something for everyone, and I played the shit out of it, obviously. Yeah, that too. You know, with Sha 1 Fighters right now, we're just basically trying to create a game that will appeal to people that don't want to spend 100 hours in a live service game. You know, we want to bring back the era of just like, here's a game, it looks good, it plays good, it's a cheap price point, and have fun with it at your own pace. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what we want to do.
Well, now that you mentioned it, this is actually a pet issue for me.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this move to live service games in the industry?
I think it sucks.
Picked one 10 years ago, and now you're locked in.
It's going to be so hard to get them to commit to anything else. You know what I mean? So I feel like at a smaller scale, a lot of people are just kind of getting tired of it. Yeah. You know, they want to see us move away from that now. You pay a set price, you get everything with it. You know?
Yeah.
I want to see that return.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah,
you get what you buy. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. All right, well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
My name is Azusa. I'm from Japan, and I worked at Phoenixx Inc., and this is the indie game publisher from Japan.
Okay.
And I worked at the promotion department.
So, what games do you have here today? Maybe we can start with the one that Desario's playing.
Yeah, and today we bring a lot of Japanese game. Today introduced this game, Touhou Genso Wanderer Foresight. This is a new game called Touhou Project Fun Game in Japan.
Okay, so what is this particular game about? What should people know about it if they've never played it before? Or if they're looking at footage of it right now, where are they looking at? Like, what is the game?
This game is a roguelite game. and classic dungeon RPG style game. And this is a very classic game, very cute and charming character from the Touhou project. There's a lot of characters here, and yeah, we want to spread how cute they are and how nice the game is.
Okay, so a lot of interest on the aesthetic and how it looks and the style, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we should know about the booth or another game or something we didn't get to ask you about?
Yeah, I worked at the Phoenixx, but we also organized an indie game event in Tokyo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the Tokyo Indie Game Summit, and today we combined those booths, those games in the Phoenixx area and Tokyo Indie Game Summit area.
Okay.
And we bring a lot of great Japanese game into here, and yeah, please come to play with, to touch with Japanese game.
Are these games available? Are they coming out soon? Are they already out? Or what's the release date situation there?
This game is released on May 15.
Okay.
And this game is May 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, it's lots of. We bring the 9 game today. 2 game is already released, but the other game will be coming soon.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Well, it's about halfway through day 1 right now, and one thing that's kind of interesting about PAX this year is just how few major publishers there are. I mean, for a while, the large publishers haven't been at conventions like Electronic Arts and Activision and Ubisoft. We haven't really seen those people in years at this type of event, but even like the grade just below that, like Devolver's not here this year. Even the bigger ones that are here, like Nintendo and Square Enix, it's much smaller booths, really just one game. So there's a lot of indies. From our side of things, going behind the curtain here, we're not even making appointments. We're just walking up and talking to people. So it's kind of interesting. Maybe it's a sign of where the industry is going, or maybe it's that everybody's playing live games now and you don't need to have a convention to tell people about a live game that everyone's hooked on already. We'll keep talking to independent developers for the rest of the day and see how the rest of the weekend goes.
My name is Eric Anderson. I'm an independent developer and I'm making this game, so to speak. It's a Japanese learning puzzle game.
Okay, so what's the deal with this game? If someone had never played it before, what's it about? Why would somebody play it?
So it's a game where you learn Japanese by figuring out what things mean. It's based on my own experiences traveling in Japan and being hopelessly lost and trying to figure out just like what is going on. I realized that I was having more fun trying to figure it out for myself by looking at things and trying to think, what could this be talking about, rather than memorizing, like looking at a textbook or something like that. And I started to wonder, could I make a whole game where all you do is figure out what things mean by using logic and context?
Yeah, can you speak a bit to what the gameplay is, or is it just real life? You're just looking at words you don't understand and you get, like what's the experience like?
Yeah, it's a point and click kind of puzzle game. You're basically put on a street in Japan and you see signs and you have to figure out the meaning of each word that you see. So it starts off easy and then that becomes more complicated. Eventually you have full sentences depending on what people are talking about, what the signs are saying.
By point and click, are you like literally typing out what you think it means, or are you clicking from options, that sort of thing?
You're clicking from options. You can click on objects and you'll get like a little description of what that might be, like this is a station, or this person is running, this person's walking, something like that. And you can actually connect the English words in the description to the Japanese words. You can also drag Japanese words just on the objects too. So you can drag like school onto school.
Okay. So do you actually speak Japanese now, or is this like a blind leading the blind situation?
I'm okay. So I've studied for a long time, like probably 15 years.
That's probably longer than most, I would say.
I can have conversations with people, but I get lost if people are talking about something really advanced or specific.
Okay, because I think I tried to take Japanese in college, and there's a distinction that there's like hiragana writing versus actual Japanese. Yeah. Can you speak to the difference of that?
Yes. So Japanese has hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Hiragana and katakana are both phonetic alphabets, and kanji are the Chinese characters that are, each one has its own meaning, and they're all mixed together in actual Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah. But what you might be talking about is often when people study, they learn the alphabets first, and maybe don't spend as much energy learning the kanji, and then have experience like I do, where they go to Japan and they're like, I don't know how to read this because this is not written in the way that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. So is there a specific one people learn in this game, or is the answer just yes, you learn all?
Everything. Basically, it's trying to be authentic. It's trying to show signs how they would really be written if they were in Japan, and so that might be kanji, it might be hiragana. And through the course of the game, you kind of learn all of these things at once.
Okay. All right, so let me ask about this PAX Rising branding. I know some people are here to look for publishers, other people are totally set. What's your situation here? Is the game good to go and you're just letting people know about it, or what are you looking for here?
The game is getting close to release, so I'm hoping to release later this year. There's a demo that's available that's on Steam now, but the full game is not done.
Okay. Do you have a release window or anything like that?
Probably summer, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Anything else you want people to know about the game that I didn't ask you about?
No, thanks. I hope people can try it and have fun.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You know, gamers like to shit on the crypto bros for investing in something that has no future, but where's your free soda stand this year, motherfuckers? Oh, I got this $90 durable I'm gonna hold at every single convention, because then I'm gonna save money in the long run. Nope, they went out of business. They're not here. You're drinking water for $6 like the rest of us.
My name is David Volante. I own Volante Design.
Oh, you are the guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to be fair, my wife Willow runs the company. I just make the things.
Oh, okay. Well, what would you describe what this is? What's the situation here? What are we looking at?
We make clothing inspired by video games and comic books. That's kind of the most reductive way to say it. For me, it's clothing that makes you feel extraordinary.
Okay.
I feel extraordinary when I'm playing video games. I'm like, oh, I'm kicking ass or whatever. My character looks awesome. I want to bring that into my daily life, even just a little bit. So, we try not to make costumes, but we want something that feels as cool as you feel when you're messing with your character in a game.
Yeah, so did you have a background in clothing creation before this? I imagine you must have. Or did you just get into this because you were very passionate about this one particular thing?
I'm good with fabric. I used to design characters and stuff as a kid, and all through until I started this. I came at it from like a character design sort of background.
Okay.
And also I know how to sew, so I sort of pieced those together. But the idea for me is like when I'm designing a piece of clothing, I'm designing it from a 360 perspective. I'm designing it as it would be a character, and then trying to build a character that exists in our world.
Is there any particular game that gave you the original inspiration? I want to say, at the risk of a lawsuit, I'm thinking about Dishonored specifically. You don't have to name one if that's an issue.
When we first started, it was Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
And we actually have the license for Assassin's Creed.
Oh.
We have licensed Assassin's Creed jackets. We have Devil May Cry. We have Mass Effect. We've got Star Trek. The thing that we do is really difficult to do. Because it's not just the look that we're trying to get, it's about the fit. Like, the feeling is about having a jacket that actually fits you as much as what it looks like.
Okay.
So, and getting a fit and we do 10 sizes, we have a very incremental way of making things work for people. You want to try one?
Okay, I can try one.
I'll get you one.
I'm the most fashionable person of Noisy Pixel, me, with my tucked in shirt.
I mean, that's Dante's coat. That's Devil May Cry.
I look just like Dante right now. I mean, I can do an air juggle, I don't remember any of the quotes from that game. Were you a fan? I mean, of course you were.
Stylish.
Yeah.
Now I'm blanking, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem I'm having.
I got cameras.
Yeah. I'll do like peas and carrots, and then we're gonna insert the Dante name. Okay, ready? Hold on. Here's your crowd. Oh yeah. I think we're good here. So thanks so much.
You got it.
So my name is Luigi Guattieri. I'm an artist designer at Pop Cannibal. We're a sort of two-man-ish studio out of Boston, Massachusetts. And we're working on a game called Kind Words 2.
So what's the situation with this part of the booth? My understanding, this is like PAX Rising, people that don't have connection to a publisher. What are you hoping to accomplish here today?
So PAX Rising, it's had a few names over the years. It's basically PAX offers some space to indie games they find interesting. Or, I don't know if they're all indie games. Some people here do have publishers, some people here have medium-sized studios. But basically it's their way of saying, hey, we think this looks cool and we want it to be at the show, and we were lucky enough to be selected for that.
Okay, so what's the deal with this game? I don't know anything about it. I think I like the vibes. I see lo-fi, city pop, so you're definitely getting the keywords that people search in YouTube. What's the overview here?
The first game was called Kind Words, lo-fi chill beats to write to, right? So we're definitely hitting those keywords there. But it was a game about writing letters to real people and being nice to each other.
Okay.
So immediately you're like, wait, these are real people on the internet, completely anonymously, actually being nice to each other. The way the system worked was someone just sent out a request that was like, hey, I lost my job, or like, I'm having some trouble with my parents, or I don't know, my relationship's on the rocks. And you would get multiple letters from real people just either offering advice or just saying something nice, or just saying something, we hear you, I'm sorry. And there was some sticker trading too, that was kind of fun. But that was such a nice core emotional loop that lots of people really latched onto. We weren't expecting anyone to really play the game. It was something we wanted to make that was like, let's just make something nice. Our last game didn't do too well. Like we just want something to exist in the world. And then, a ton of people played it, and millions of letters were shared.
It turns out the fantasy of having something nice happen on the internet is very highly sought after, you would say, right?
I mean, most games come out of a fantasy, right? You want to be a medieval knight, you want to be a wizard or whatever. Ours was, what would it be like if everyone was actually nice to each other? Kind Words 2 came out of our biggest problem, which was people wanted to be nice in lots of different ways. They didn't want to just write letters. They wanted to share media recommendations, like what's the anime I should be watching right now? Or I've written this lovely poem, but I want someone to look at it, right? Which our system was not designed for, right? Things would just float around in the queue and people wouldn't really be sure how to respond to them, but we loved the enthusiasm. So we thought to ourselves, like, all right, what else could we add? And how could we use what people actually want to do and make a sequel out of it? And that's what we're working on right now. So it's pretty experimental. We've had a demo out, which had, tens of thousands of messages already shared.
This is on Steam, I'm guessing?
This is on Steam. We have a playtest you can sign up for right now, or you can just wishlist it. That's cool too.
Do you have a release date or anything like that?
We don't have a release date. It's definitely aiming for this year. We are a 2-man MMO right now, so there's a lot of things to iron out, but there's a whole lot of new systems. There's a whole store where you can just share stuff you're interested in, or be like, I like this hyper-specific band that no one has ever heard of. Does anybody know anything exactly like it? Yep, someone will probably answer that, and you'll get that response. Or I have this lovely poem that's inside my heart that I have to share with people. Yep, here's a place you can do that. I just want to say nice things. I want to name a cat. I want to shout into a void. I want to wish upon a star. All of it. That's what we're doing.
You have any feedback so far on how many people are checking out the demos compared to that original game? Or like you said, a lot of people got into it, but do you have any numbers on that? Just curious.
I don't really have any numbers. I mean, the original game got picked up in some interesting places that really got a lot of attention. It was a Humble Bundle exclusive for a little while, and that really helped get a lot of people.
You don't have like we've gotten 10,000 nice letters because of this game or something like that.
Well, the first one we definitely have millions. I can't remember off the top of my head. But our demo in Steam, it was only up for 5 days. And we easily had, 20,000 conversations sort of started and messaged through. People really just want to be nice to each other and be heard.
It turns out.
Yeah.
They're looking for the avenue. Yeah.
Surprised to everything you've heard in video games, right? Where you log into a Call of Duty lobby and it's just a nightmare. Actually, no. People do want to be nice to each other. It's a real thing. They just need spaces to do it.
Yeah. All right, well, very cool. Is there anything you wanted to say about the game we didn't get to ask you about?
No, I think I...
Perfect. Did my job excellent. Okay. All right, thanks so much.
All right, cheers, man.
Hey, what's up, nerds? Mark here, and I just want to take this little break to say thank you for clicking on the video, and more importantly, watching this far through. We have so much fun packed into our Day 2 episode of PAX, and it has an abundance of cosplayer interviews, because we know you like the cosplayers, and more, so stay tuned for that video upon release. Hope you are enjoying what we have put together, and please do not forget to subscribe, and of course, drop a comment about PAX or what games you might be playing so we can chat. That being said, let's get back to the video where we have a cosplayer to interview and a few more game developers to talk to.
Sir, you are probably one of the better cosplays we've seen already. Where are you dressed as right now?
I am dressed as the Hyde Knight armor set from Dark Souls 2.
So Dark Souls 2, I feel like that's the one that everybody sort of rags on. Do you just like this particular character, or how do you feel about the game?
I actually have never really played the games.
Okay.
I just really appreciate them from an artistic standpoint, and this is my favorite armor set from out of all 3 games. Probably it's top 3.
Okay.
So,
Can we ask how much this getup costs? How'd you get this all put together?
well, it's all handcrafted over the course of almost 9 months. I made it a few years ago. It's actually my first attempt at making like EVA foam armor.
Okay.
So, I mean, I love making costumes. I love making art. I love sharing it with people.
How does someone get into PBA foam artwork?
Honestly, I mean, if you're just getting started, YouTube tutorials are your best friend. I definitely wouldn't spend a bunch of money on expensive tools.
Okay.
Like, spend a little bit to get what you need to start, and then see if you even like it first.
Yeah.
You know, my recommendation is ease into it. Don't just dive head first, because it's an expensive hobby, or at least it can be.
I think we blew past the investment you made for this. Do you talk about that, or is that an industry secret?
Honestly, like, to be honest, I don't keep track. The ones that I make for myself, I don't keep track.
Okay.
So,
if you had to guess.
probably close to 500, I would say.
500?
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
No, I mean,
we talked to a Boba Fett last year. He spent $7,000.
I feel like I could make that for not that much, but hey, I would say cosplay is one of those hobbies, just like anything, it can be as expensive as you want it to be.
Okay.
So,
do you do commissions, or is this your own thing?
I don't do individual commissions. I have been hired by game companies in the past, and actually that's why I'm here, is to try and network and showcase my stuff.
You got a channel we can promote or anything?
Absolutely. So I'm James Gets Spooky on all social media platforms, or you can go to my website at jamesgetsspooky.com, and I have a business card for you guys too.
In terms of PAX in general, I know you mentioned you're here to sort of network and stuff. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to? Anything you're here for other than that?
Honestly, like, I just love the atmosphere of cons. They're great. It's always a really cool crowd, and a lot of people coming together with similar interests and stuff. And I really appreciate everyone's kind words towards my artwork and stuff. So it's just a really cool energy. This is actually my first time at PAX.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah. Where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Oh, that's pretty far.
Yeah.
You flew in and everything,
Yep.
obviously, right?
Yep.
Wild. I'm asking some consistent questions across the con. Right now, somebody mentioned live service games. I don't know how involved you are in gaming versus this side of it. Do you have an opinion on live service games at all?
Are live service games the ones that like they release and then the developers continue to update things?
Yeah, it's like every game now, like Fortnite, League of Legends, The Division.
Okay.
Those things that they're typically free to play, but you can get like a subscription or something.
Okay.
Do you have any thoughts on that at all?
No, to be honest.
Okay. That's fine. Just wanted to ask. Cool.
The only thing I do have an opinion on is, in my spare time when I'm not making costumes, games are great. So
your hot take is that games are great.
Games are great.
That might be the most controversial opinion here.
Yes, you can literally quote me on that.
Okay.
Next Spooky 2024.
All right, quote.
Games are great.
All right, thanks so much, man.
You're welcome.
Just for context, what's your name, title, what's your relationship to the game?
Oh yeah, my name's Alexander Supron. I'm being contracted out by Strayfon Studios to help them showcase their new game in development, Airborne Empire.
Okay, so what's this game all about if someone has never seen it before? Because when I'm looking at it, I'm like, all right, it looks interesting, but I don't really know what's going on.
So Airborne Empire is basically a city builder role-playing game where you're set in this fantasy open world where you have to navigate quest lines and be able to build up your empire to be the biggest empire in this world.
Biggest empire in the sky.
Biggest empire in the sky, yeah.
If I'm looking at the game and I'm not sure what's going on, there's a lot of buttons to click, a lot of UI, how would you explain to someone that's looking at it the first time what the game is? What is the gameplay loop?
So the core gameplay loop in Airborne Empire consists of managing and tasking your workers on your ship to go gather resources from the ground, communicate with local cities to gain more followers, and help protect this world from the pirates that are starting to invade.
Okay, so it's like a strategy game, you'd say?
Yeah, strategy, city builder RPG, yeah.
Okay. Generally, is there something about the game that people should know about that I didn't get a chance to ask you about specifically?
Something that I really like about the game is all the care that was put into creating all the assets and all the movement that is conveyed through the gameplay.
Yeah.
Like when you click or when you just look at your ship, there's a ton of moving elements that just make it feel lived in and like a real actual entity.
Yeah. Aesthetic little details.
Definitely, yeah.
Does it have a release date?
So this is the early access is going to be released early of Q2 of this year.
Okay.
Hopefully. I can't commit to anything.
Yeah, sure. No clear window beyond that.
Yes. But you can go check out Airborne Kingdom, which is their previous game and their first iteration of this concept.
Oh, so similar strategy game or something completely different?
So it's very, very similar, except it's not based in an open world and there's no combat element. But they pulled a lot from that game and just improved it and made it all better for this new one that's coming out this year.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
So I know a lot of gamers have a lot of strong opinions on economies, but we're here at the food court in PAX East, and this is what you would call a closed market where there's only a handful of people who offer you things, which means for the low, low price of $8, you can get a hot dog, or for the exceptional price of $12, you can get some fried dough with powdered sugar on it. So next year, we're going to open the Noisy Pixel food booth. We're going to sell it for half the price, which is still a 200% markup. That's coming at you next year. Seems reasonable. Let me just say, I lived in the Boston area for 17 years. I have never heard anyone say wicked. I don't know what this is coming from. Yeah. Good? Mic is on this time? All right, so just for context, what's your name, title, what's the company?
Yeah, so I am Pete White. This is Throne of Bone, an indie game made by Windmill Slam.
So what's the deal with this game? What would the pitch be for someone that doesn't know anything about it?
Yeah, so Throne of Bone is a roguelike auto-battler. You play as a necromancer. You summon undead minions to defend your castle against anyone who dislikes the honest work of necromancy. As you progress, you'll learn spells, level up, get new minions from the shop, and ultimately try to reclaim the Throne of Bone.
Did you say what your title was? What's your relationship to the game?
I am the dev designer.
Who came up with this idea? Would you be the person that could answer that?
I would say that this game came out of a desire from myself to explore the intersection of auto battlers and roguelikes, mostly because I was playing a ton of auto battlers and roguelikes.
Okay.
And I thought that they were a good match in terms of genre. I actually just think in general, roguelikes are an awesome replayable hobby.
If I don't know what an auto battler is, how would you describe that?
I say basically an auto battler is a game where most of the strategy comes in drafting either good cards or good units. You're almost like the coach of a soccer or football team. When it actually comes down to the combat of the game, the units sort of choose their own targets or choose their own aggro, fire their abilities by themselves. So you basically get to play the role of coach, where you're able to reposition your units, draft or sell. So I guess on some level you're almost like the team manager as well. Pick different, in this case, undead minions, and then you kind of just let her rip. That's one of the fun things about auto battlers is you almost get to be a spectator in the own game that you're playing.
Okay, yeah. I've heard my roommate explain, or former roommate explain, that the goal of any game is to actually have it play itself. Would you say that's relatable?
I would say that there's something really flow state about having the game play itself where you can just take your hands off the piano and listen to the music, you know?
Yeah, that's a very artistic way to put it, for sure. Poetic way to put it.
I was definitely like thinking about the intro credits to Westworld Season 1.
Okay. Can you just talk a little more about, like, if we're looking at footage of this game, what are the things that we're looking at? What are the concepts we should be understanding here?
Well, I would say first and foremost, what you're going to see is a lot of spooky, cute, undead minions, all willing to die for you. There's skeletons, zombies, spirits, you know, the classics. Maybe some weirder things like reanimated undead scarecrows, mushrooms, beings from beyond comprehension. You're going to see hopefully an intuitive interface, and you're going to see a lot of people who seem to dislike necromancy for some reason.
What is up with that, right?
It just gets a bad rap. I think it's just, you know, it's just a bad rap. You can blame maybe the neighboring human kingdoms or the paladins, but ultimately, recycling the undead is a very ecologically sort of responsible thing to do.
Pro-environmentalists, the necromancers.
Necromancers, pro-environmental. We got to save the planet through some way.
Just because it's dead doesn't mean you can't bring it back to life, right?
It's recycling. It's just recycling.
Yeah.
Necromancy, recycling, same thing.
Yeah. Hot takes here at PAX East. Okay, do you have well, actually, let me ask this PAX Rising area. I don't quite understand what the situation is there. We heard that it's because people don't have publishers, but some people have publishers. What's your relationship with that branding?
So, I would say that the PAX Rising Showcase is available to indie studios under 10 team members who own their own IP. So most publishing deals, your IP might be owned by the publisher.
Yeah.
If you are either self-published or if you have a sort of non-standard relationship with a publisher where you maintain all the rights to your own IP, you can apply to be in the PAX Rising showcase, and then the judges curate all applications and award space at PAX, both PAX East and West, and possibly the other PAXs.
But you're not necessarily shopping to get a publisher, you're just here to mention the game.
It's going into early access next month as a self-published game. We have been fortunate enough to have a runway that allowed us to develop the game without a traditional publisher. And early access is a way for us to basically get more community engagement, better feedback, while the game is being finished.
Right. You have a release date or window or anything?
The early access date is April 8th, and we expect to be in early access, I'd say 3 to 8 months, as we sort of fine-tune the game, improve some of the art that could be juiced up a little more, and deliver the features that our community has been clamoring for.
Okay, cool. Is there anything you wanted to say about the game I didn't get to ask you about?
Basically, I just want Necromancy to, come back, be it. It's like, I think it gets a bad rap.
PAX East 2024, we're bringing back Necromancy. It's good for the environment.
It's good for the environment.
Yeah, thanks so much. So just for context, what's your name, title?
Fabian, and I'm the community manager at Skytech Gaming.
So what we got going on at this booth today? I noticed this keyboard mural back here.
Yeah, so the keyboard mural, that's in collaboration with Signal RGB. So they have a software where you can connect all your peripherals and your PC and all that stuff and sync all of that using their software. And so they created this massive keyboard wall. Those are all plugged into that computer back there.
So we got Doom on the left-hand side, and then it's playing on the keyboard, right?
Yeah, it's playing on the keyboard wall. So that's super awesome. And then over here on the right, we have a 3D printed PC. This is working in a live in collaboration with AMD.
Are we talking Blue People Avatar?
Blue People Avatar. Okay. I had to say that a lot today. As soon as I told them Avatar, they're like, wait, which one?
Yeah. I'm not seeing an arrow on a guy's forehead, so I don't know what's happening. But we got another one on the other side.
Yeah, we have another one over here. 3D printed as well, working computer Minecraft, another passion project of ours.
So are these things people can purchase, or what's the situation with these?
No, so this was a collaboration with AMD. This is going to be a giveaway eventually. We just brought it to PAX just to show it off. And then Minecraft is just a passion project of ours. We just wanted to do that just because, people love Minecraft, so why not?
Yeah. What would you say Skytech does in general? Is it PC accessories?
Yeah. So Skytech Gaming is an SI or a PC system integrator based out of Ontario, California. We do pre-built PCs, we do custom PCs. So all the machines that everybody are playing here, those are all our PCs.
Anything else going on here that we should know about? We have any NVIDIA representation, or are we just doing AMD and not Intel?
Technically, I think there's an NVIDIA GPU in that one. And then in our systems, we have NVIDIA cards as well. Okay. So they just don't pay us. Pay us, NVIDIA, please.
Yeah.
We'll rep you.
Listen, NVIDIA, if you're looking for business,
sponsor us, please.
They're trying to give it to you, but for some reason, they got other things going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I assume you're into games yourself.
Yep.
If you weren't at PAX, just on a personal level, what game would you be playing right now?
Battle Royale's got me hooked, so it's Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex Legends, the main three.
All live games, right?
Yeah, all live. They're all online, multiplayers and stuff like that.
Do you think that's just where we're at now? People just play a few live games for the rest of forever? How do you feel about live games?
I think that's what makes the companies the most money, is giving a free product and then doing in-app purchases.
Yeah, but how do you feel about it, Fabian?
I mean, my wallet is hurting a little bit, but those skins, though.
Yeah.
The gun skins and, the people skins, you can't help it.
Any new hardware that you're selling?
So we sell every single one of these PCs, so you can look it up at skytechgaming.com. They're all made to ship to order. And we're also at Best Buy, Newegg, Amazon,
yeah. Cool.
My name is Trey Powell, co-developer on this game, Fallen Aces. I designed it. I made it.
I made the game, right? Okay. So what's the deal with this game? What's the pitch that you'd give if someone had never heard of it before? What's it about?
Okay, so it's like a noir, like beat 'em up type of game. Fight gangsters with your fists.
Okay.
And lead pipes and baseball bats and like whatever is lying on the ground, you just pick it up and you beat the shit out of it.
Okay. So it's a brawler.
Yeah, it's kind of like a brawler, but like you can like stealth through it and stuff. But it's a weird game because it's not like one type of thing, But I guess the most basic description for it would be that it's the first-person game that has melee combat. it's set in like the 40s. You beat up gangsters, but there's also like stealth elements, and it's non-linear. So.
Okay, maybe I could ask what was the inspiration for this game? Like, what were you sort of thinking when you came up with this idea with the team?
I'm not really sure where it came from. There was a Doom mod that came out like years ago that I remember playing that was pretty interesting. It had a similar kind of like fighting in the city with your fists kind of like look and feel to it, and we were big fans of that. So we just like, what happens if we made that just bigger and crazier? So that's what we did.
All right, I got it. So I'm just trying to give people a sense of what the game is, and it sounds like it may be hard to describe.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so you know, like, what's something you hope and experience people will get from playing the game? You know, like you mentioned that one mod that you played that you kind of liked. What was it that you liked about it? And you're like, we need to make that for this reason.
Well, New Blood kind of has a specialty of looking at like older kind of shooter type games, like Duke Nukem and Doom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or even like Deus Ex. Just going back and playing those types of games, cutting out all the fat and just getting to like the fun stuff.
Okay.
You know, not wasting your time with like 10-minute tutorial cutscene, like walking through a room. You just get right into it.
Yeah.
You beat up some gangsters, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I can tell you, I personally, when I start a game and I see a cutscene, I'm hitting every button until it's gone. I just want to get right into the game.
Thankfully, the cutscenes that we do have, you can skip them. So.
Nice. Excellent. You want to talk about the aesthetic at all? I mean, it's a pretty dapper suit. I imagine that's not your day-to-day, and it's related to the game.
It's actually my pajamas. Yeah. But, the comic look is just, we just wanted to have that vibe, you know, that vintage, like, comic pulp feel, you know, like an old detective novel or an old comic you'd find. I think it really fits the world that we're trying to make, and I think it just clicks.
Yeah. So we're gonna get some footage of the actual game. If someone's looking at the game right now, what's some stuff that they should be paying attention to? Where are they looking at? Things that you could call out that, since you worked on the game, you can maybe point out, like, here's something that maybe you wouldn't be focusing on if you're not familiar with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a very open-ended type of game, so there's a ton of ways to go about things. I've noticed that people playing the demo just here, I've been playing for like 30 minutes because they're going in every nook and cranny and trying to find how to do stuff or like how to mess around with things. Like you can, there's a gumball machine in one of the storefronts. You can kick the gumball machine, and then if the goons run over it, they'll slip on it and fall down, and you can like, stomp on it.
Okay.
So you can do all kinds of stuff like that. You can pick up a rat, throw it at a guy's face, and he'll freak out.
Okay, so it's immersion gameplay, different options, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Is there anything you wanted to mention about the game that I didn't get to ask you about?
There's a story there, but like you don't have to pay attention to it. You know, if you just want to beat guys up, you could do that. But we have some animated cutscenes done by an artist called Francis. He does great work. Put a lot of effort into the voice acting and the music, so hopefully people appreciate that.
You have a release date or anything like that?
Yeah, we're looking at like late spring, probably.
So pretty soon, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
I guess Azario's thing is going to be independent anyway. All right, well, that's the end of day one for PAX East 2024. A bit more of a low-key day. We're hoping to talk to more gamers on Friday and Saturday, talk to a lot of indie developers today. We're going to continue with the nightlife of PAX and get more integrated in the community and the other booths here in the next few days. So, see you soon. Maybe I'll just stare at the camera the entire time. Noisy Pixel. Exclusive! Do you charge? Do you have a battery?
I'm charging it. I'm full battery.
Nice.
It's so windy.
Can I go out that way? I can't go out that way. Oh. You're ruining the utility bill for them.
Yeah. It's a frigid night. in Boston.
All right, we just ate dinner at, what was it, seafood? Seafood something. Legal seafood.
Legal seafood.
And I think we're heading back to the hotel, and then we're gonna go play some pool and ping pong.
Noisy Pixel! After hours! Legal seafood! Worth it! To the Hendrix gin.
The Grey Pearl?
Oh, this.
Oh, my neck's too thick. There it goes. Okay.
Turtleneck.
Noisy Pixel.